ever heard about the importance of repetition. So we have heard a lot about making affirmations and repeating those affirmations whenever you feel like. So usually affirmations are used because see, when we were children and somebody told us that you cannot do something, and we started believing in it. Why? Because it was not just said once or twice, but it kept on repeating and we started believing in it. So that's where, like, if you can create the bad things, you can also create the good things. So I've so long back, not long back, some few months back, my mother had some minor stroke, and she always used to say these things for almost like 2-3 years, and I always used to tell her, please don't talk that way, please don't talk that way. But she was the one who used to always say whenever she was angry that I would have a brain hemorrhage, and she ended up having it. The only thing is that at least she didn't actually feel the feeling of having that. That's why she got out of danger, and it was of course because I used to affirm that she's healthy. I used to pray a lot about it, and so that's the thing. So in Bible it is written that the power of your tongue is a lot. So that is the reason, if you see, like, I'm not quoting any particular religion here, but have you ever seen that in Islam there is a culture wherein people say 3 times talaq and the divorce happens? And that is because the power of your words are quite important. So I feel like in any married couple, the word D should not come. I mean, your name could start with D, your husband's name could start with D, or anything like that. But I mean, D for divorce, it should never come. So I feel like that's a very important thing, because when we casually joke about ourselves, the universe doesn't understand jokes about yourself. So if you're saying that I am a cartoon, you start believing in that identity, that you are a cartoon in some or the other way. You'll start believing in it. That's why I remember when I was a child, so I used to do a lot of things, and then I used to start thinking, okay, so I never liked social studies. So as a child, whenever I would say that I hate social studies, I would end up scoring very less. And my grandfather used to say that you should never say that you don't like it. In fact, you should say that you like it. So I said that, why would I say that I like it if I don't like it? And he would say that you would eventually start believing in it, that you don't like it, and then you would eventually score less. And he was right about it. He never knew about what affirmations was. He never knew about conscious manifestation or co-creating with this universe or God, but he said what was right. So that is the reason we affirm things. And there are times when you might not be able to affirm directly about certain things when you're very triggered or something like that. But even in those times, if you believe, even that belief is enough. Because Neville Goddard said that so Neville Goddard actually got married to his specific person, who was married to someone else. And though I do not appreciate such kind of things, like disturbing someone's life and creating something out of it, but what I'm trying to tell here is, and I also don't know what Neville's actual story was, like if the girl he was in love with was like under certain difficult circumstance. So I'd better not talk about it because I don't have good memory attached to it. But the thing what I'm trying to say is, Neville always said that whenever he used to sleep, whenever he used to sleep, he used to sleep thinking that his wife is sleeping beside him, and that wife was the girl he used to love. And so he used to say that night after night I used to imagine her sleeping beside me, and that's what and he kept on persisting on that assumption. So the more you persist on that particular feeling, that particular affirmation, that particular belief, you make it. And you should not be checking about the result. So okay, I affirmed, for example, some of you affirm that your SP is continuously calling and texting you, and then you go and check the mobile. Okay, is he calling me? Is she calling me? No, you have to stop that, because that's not gonna help. You just have this belief, that's all. You just have this belief. It's not rocket science, it's not anything. You should have that belief. That is only going to count. And this one more thing, yeah, that's about it. So sometimes even when you don't believe on certain things, even if you're not belief, I'm wrong. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes, for example, I was affirming for a job which was on analytics when I was trying to change a project or something like that. And a close family member of mine wanted me to do something on finance plus analytics, but I was not interested in finance at that point of time, because I was too much engrossed into getting into an analytical field, more go in depth. I was interested in that. I was like, I think when I was doing my master's in business administration, I got to understand that I was very much interested in analytics field. Before that, I never knew that I was interested in it. So that's why I was very much passionate about it, and I didn't want to focus on anything else except on analytics. But a close family member of mine said that you can do both finance and analytics, and now my current job is on finance and analytics. So see, my mother in this case, who was interested for me to do a finance job, was not affirming for me, but she said that I just bless you that you have this. So even when that doesn't mean that you cannot decide for yourself. It's just that if you are not contradicting that thought and in your mind, then that means you can have both of what you want and what someone is wishing for you. And it's not a bad thing, to be honest, because the family members of you want good for you, but it should also be something which you find happiness with. So if you find happiness in analytics, then it could be a blend of analytics and finance. So it's like a mix of both. So that's how the things. In fact, like I had one of my friend I met in my MBA college, and so he was very excited when me and my SP used to we initially started confessing our feelings for each other. So he used to call him my brother-in-law. So he used to call my SP as his brother-in-law. So at that point of time, like, we were just getting to know each other more as people, as different individuals, and like, we were just starting the relationship, you can say. So but my brother, as in my friend, I call him my brother as well. So he was very, 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 like, he would see the future, and then he would say that by the second year you guys will have 2 babies. So in some or the other way, what he wanted, what my brother wanted, he never forced those things on me. But I also had the same thoughts. My SP also had the same thoughts about me. I also had the same thoughts about him. And like, that togetherness kind of feeling, it was there within both of us, even when we had feelings for each other, but that thing that what my brother envisioned for us, that somehow was there in three of us. So I feel like so there's a story in Abraham Hicks' books of Ask and It Is Given. So she says that wife wanted to buy a house, and she used to tell her husband that we should buy a house, we should buy a house. So women are very expressive, so they would keep on saying these things. But the guy, it's not like he didn't want the house, it's just that he was too much into the practicality of can I have the house, do I have the funds, or etc. But if you see the intention was common in both the guy and the lady, who were each other's better half. So and then eventually they met a realtor who would sell a house which they both dreamt of in a very affordable rate, and they ended up buying it. So all these things, so the forces of the universe always bends into your intention. So you should be holding only that narrative, only that belief which you want to happen. So if you want to marry your SP, don't hold beliefs that this is not possible. He told me this and that, something XYZ had happened in my past, or that's not going to help you. Think about what you want, not what you don't want. And I know that is very simple to say, but it's very difficult to do in practicality. But it's all about, okay, I cry about it, I feel bad about things, but then I again come back to the story, the new story, wherein we are happily together ever after. And that's the reason why there are so many meditations, affirmations, so that you can feel the state of wish fulfilled. So that's about it. Thank you.